Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Ravenclaw here. We're back with another tutorial episode. I'm sorry if I'm not as perky as I normally am, guys. It's been a very rough day, so those of you on the Facebook page would know what's been going on. If you haven't checked out the Facebook page, links in the description. Go on over there and would love your support. Alright, so in today's tutorial we're going to learn how to turn a 2D image or logo or whatever you want to do into a 3D image. And first we need to start off in Photoshop. Now the two programs I'll be using is Photoshop and Cinema 4D. But yeah, pretty cool little technique. I've used it quite a lot in some of the wallpapers that I've been doing, and yeah, very handy. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now first thing we want to do is find your image. Okay, so it can be anything you want that you want to sort of, cut out and use as a template. In this case, I'm using my logo. Now, you don't want to zoom in too far so it's all pixelated. You want to get to the point where, you're close enough to sort of go along the lines, but not too close. Like I said, it doesn't get all pixelated because it'll just sort of ruin your lines. All right, so get to about there should do it, I think. Yeah, about there. Now, for those that aren't familiar with Photoshop too well, if you hold Alt and roll forward, that'll do that. I'll try and link all the short hotkeys that I use. All right. Now, on the left-hand side, you want to go and grab the pen tool. Let's sit here, pen tool. And what we're going to be doing is simply just tracing the line, so making a path to go all the way along. I won't sit here and do the whole thing because it's quite intense, so I might speed up the video as I do it, but I will show you a few lines on how to do it. So what we want to do is zoom in a little bit more. So we want to start at a point, so in this case it's there, and what you don't want to do this, you don't want to go from there down to here and try and curve along here. You want to start from one point and go to about, let's just say about here. Now once you click, you want to hold it and then drag it, so you can see there it sort of lines up with the arm. Hopefully you can see that pretty well. Alright, so if we just drop that there, now you'll see down here, right, we've got a bit of a problem. That's okay. So if you hold Control and click on the point, you can actually drag that point. So actually what we'll do is we'll just drag that point to about there. So it's sort of like, it doesn't have to be perfect, just to what you think will be good. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that this one here, when you press Control and select a point, you see how there's two let's call them levers. You want to hold Alt, click on the little dot here, and what that does, it cuts it off. So let me just undo it and see what happens if I don't do this, right? So if I do this, see how it starts the next line in a curve? Because it actually follows on. So what we want to do is we want to Alt, click, left click, that cuts it off so we can start a new fresh straight line like this. So we want to go down here. So click and hold, drag it up till you get that sort of curve that you want. That'll do it like that. I'm going to hold Control again and sort of just get into the line that I want. So that looks pretty cool there. Hold Alt again and cut that line off. And yeah, so I might go around the around this bit just so you guys can get the hang of it, and then I'll sort of speed up the video and just finish the rest off. So as you can see here, we've got a little bit of a kink. So once again, hold Control, go back there, and I think that'll be okay. It's not exactly on the line, but that doesn't matter. It's the logo at the end of the day that in the 3D form is what we care about. Yeah. So I know I'm probably going to repeat myself, but for those guys that are learning, it's the best way to do it if I repeat myself over and over again. So hold Control, cut it off. If you're doing a straight line, you don't have to hold Control. It's only when you see those levers, like right now, watch. Nothing, there's no levers, but as soon as you start pulling it, you get those levers. Hold Alt, cut. Like I said, I will link the shortcuts down below, as far as hold Alt and Control and blah 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 blah, and what to do and what not to do. Alright, so if you can see here, we just give that a little bit of a bend. That'll look pretty cool like that. If we go around here, about there I think would look alright. So watch what happens if I go too far, right? If I go down here, I can only sort of bend it like that. I know you can do like double bends, but it's easy if you just do it bit by bit to get that right curve, as opposed to having to go and, you know, sort of bend lines more than once, sort of thing. So I don't like how that landed, so I'm just going to put that about there. And these are pretty much straight cuts. So in this instance, as you can see, look, we've got a bit of a black line. Now, you can go ahead and sort of cut that out, like you don't have to go in here, but if you don't do what I'm about to do, what will happen is your 3D model will end up looking a bit flat. Doing this adds a bit of depth. You'll see when we get to the model. And don't worry about the eye, we'll come back to do that. I'll show you what you can do once you've finished your line. So what I might do now is I might just speed up the video, go all the way around the model, around the image, and I'll get back to you. Okay guys, so we're almost there. Then when you've got to the last bit, you'll see it turns to there's a circle there. Just click it, and what that does, it finishes off the path. Okay, so now that we've got our path, what we want to do is we need to cut the eye out. So if we zoom in here, I might just make it, I'm not sure what I might do. I might just do one. Don't worry about the paths are still there, so you can sort of see. I'm not sure you can see it on the video, but what I might do is I might just sort of make it a quick cut. I may or may not like this when it comes to the model, but hey, it is what it is. Alright, so we've got them all selected. Alright, so now we're done. Okay, we've outlined our entire picture. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to what am I doing? Mind blank right here. Okay, where are we? We want to mark export. Okay, paths to Illustrator. Alright, so if we click paths to Illustrator, we want work path, which is basically what this does. Makes an Illustrator file that we can then import into Cinema 4D, and that becomes like a spline. So it's basically like, just think of just as a simple line that the program can find, and then basically look at that and go, all right, I'm going to fill in the gaps and turn it into a 3D block, as it were. I'll show you what I mean when we get in there. So we do that, we press OK. Can put it into, yeah, that'll do. Raven display, that's fine. Okay, just save that. All right, now I'll open up Cinema 4D and we'll bring in our logo. Okay guys, so here we are, Cinema 4D. Now what we want to do is we need to find our logo that we just created. So what we want to do is go to merge. Okay, so once you go merge, you find the file that you need, which is Raven display pic. Double click it, just leave that as is, press OK, and then look what we've got here. Pretty cool looking spline. So you can see what I meant before, right? It just leaves it as an outline. But that's not 3D. No, get rid of that. That's not 3D, is it? It's basically a, yeah, what are we going to do? All right, so first what we'll do, don't worry about what I'm doing here. I'm just adding a floor so when we render it looks a bit better. So what we want to do, so over here you'll see the, the items that we have in the scene. We want to go up to, what's it here? Right here, you'll see the NURBS file, which is basically adding sort of more of a smoother look to things, or in our case, we want to extrude this. So if we go extrude, nothing's happened yet, but as soon as we click on the display pic, click and hold, and when you see the down arrow, let go, and bam. Look what we've got already. Looks a bit better, doesn't it? But still not finished yet. I still don't like the look of it. It's too flat. All right, so what we want to do is click on Extrude NURBS, go down to caps here, which simply means the front and the back, as you would think of a cap. What we want to do is we want to go to Fillet Cap, and that adds a cool little, same with this, the front and back. As you can see, it adds a cool little bevel to the edge, and I like that a lot. But I don't like how wide it is. I don't like the thickness, so that's okay. So what we can do is, okay, there we go. So it's just a matter of fiddling around. So what we're doing is adding the axes, right? So in this case, we just want to make it a little bit smaller. That's a bit better. Just so it's, more like a medallion sort of thing, right? So that looks pretty cool as it is, but I reckon we can go one better. So I'm just going to load in I made a gold material. I'm just going to make sure. Okay, so I can't find where I put my stupid gold material, but it doesn't matter. I will get that later. But what we'll do is we'll just grab that. We'll see what this looks like for now. That over there. We'll just grab that and just chuck it on. And okay, so this is one thing. Let's just render this out real quick. Okay, that didn't show up, and that looks pretty crappy, doesn't it? So if you get this, what's happened is it's actually applied the material to the sides, if you can see that there. And that's not what we want. We want it on the fascias, like the faces. So if we come over here into material editor, well, this is not really material editor, but over here where the material properties are, we just want to go projection, and let's go cubic. All right, now let's go like this, and hey, doesn't that look a bit better? This one's more of a sort of a stone sort of effect. So if we come out of this and just go into render again, it's more of like carved into concrete sort of thing. But let's find a different material. See if we can muck around a little bit. This is just purely for aesthetics. A little bit of once again we want to go cubic. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. I've got to get that. Let's render it again. Let's see. Now we can't sort of see this one. It's a bit more of a matte black because we don't have any lighting in there. But maybe if I add a light, that might fix things up a little bit. I mean, you guys can muck around. See, it adds a little bit of a bit more of an effect to it. But the theory and all that is still the same. I'm just sort of giving you a little bit of bit of direction into where you can be creative, because I'm sure I've got a ton of creative people out there. So what else have we got here? Some pretty cool little things. This is just a material pack that I picked up not long ago. I work on my own. Well, that doesn't work, does it? Ugh, that's gross. I've actually worked on my own materials, and I just can't seem to find where I've saved them. Now that there, I don't like that. So it's tiling, but as you can see, the tiles are not as big as you want. So we can fix that by simply just opening up the length and the width to make it a bit more to our needs. So as you can see, it looks a bit more grunge and crazy. What about glass? Green glass. Let's put that on there. I'm sorry, I'm probably just, this is probably the last one. It's getting a bit too much, I think. What does that look like? Oh yeah, it's a little bit see-through. Can't really notice it because there's nothing really behind it, but hey, looks pretty cool. Anyway, I just wanted to show you a quick little way, if you guys are out there editing and doing a bits of things, just to add a little bit of a different flair to your logos. If you've got a 2D logo and you want to make it 3D, and you've got access to Cinema 4D, this is the best way to do it. And I think that turned out pretty good. It's going to take a little bit of tweaking in that, and then you can actually export this as an OBJ, I believe. Export FBX is fine, and then you can take that into 3ds Max or anything like that, and you can actually edit the polys and clean it up and add your own unwrap it and then put your own material on it and do whatever you want to do. But anyway, I'm just going to end this guide here because I'm going to start repeating myself. Hope you enjoyed this, guys, and I know it's probably not for everyone, but those of you that are into 3D art and all this, hopefully you got a lot out of it. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I cannot wait to see all of your great designs. Don't forget to head over to Facebook. Join the page there and link me anything that you guys come up with. I want to see every single one. I'm always up to see new art. Yeah, leave a like if this is something that you want to see more of. Different types of tutorials, programming, everything of the sort. And as always, everyone that is watching this video right now and anywhere you are, you keep on sniping, and I will definitely see you guys in the next video. Peace out.